Ray Swan determined to gain points in his MG. Ken Irons, 8 points on the Yamaha, so he's well placed for an overall win. Andy Watts needs a high MG placing to do well on aggregate. And Stefan Martins, a very close second in the bike race, but unused to right-hand drive in a car. So as Paul Tinker gets ready for the fray in his 110 miles an hour Maestro, is young Steve Chambers overawed by the pole position he's got in his MG?
No, I'm really pleased because I think a good grid position in the car race is going to make a lot of difference.
Right, now you've got an absolutely straight run down to Redgate, the first corner. What are going to be your tactics?
Well, I'm going to head straight down and stick on the inside all the way, I reckon.
10 laps there. First car race in MGs whose performance has been equalised by top racers Tony Pond and Steve Soper, and it's go. And poleman Steve Chambers had a bad start. And in the middle, look, Robles and Melander have made contact. Their cars are absolutely locked together. Look at it. As they go into Redgate, they separate, and it's Kenny Irons leading with Chambers, a super recovery in second place. Then it's Martin, Swan and Robles in fifth position. So it's all action right from the beginning of the MG Maestro race as they go into the Craner curves, down to the old hairpin. Kenny Irons is leading. He was third in the Pro-Am race. Then Chambers, who won it. Then Swan, and he was seventh in the Pro-Am race, up into third position in the car race. Martins and Sal, fourth and fifth. Up to McLean's. 3 ahead, Kenny Irons is leading. Then Steve Chambers, number 4, the winner of the Pro-Am race. Then Ray Swan, the Pro-Am champion of Britain, and Martins in 4th place and dropping back. So the top 3 in the Pro-Am race are all in the first 4 in this 10-lap MG Maestro race. Into the chicane. Irons, Chambers, Swan out of it. Chambers is leading on aggregate in the MG Maestro and the Pro-Am races together. Out of the chicane, Irons, Chambers, Swan, Martins is 4th, Sal is 5th, then Melander, Tinker, Robles and Buckmaster, and Andy Watts has pulled out of the race and into the pits. Lap 2, Redgate. Irons, Chambers and Swan. Ken Irons, look at him, he's got about 2 car lengths now. He's right on the ragged edge as he went round the left-hander. Now down to the old hairpin. Down a cog, accelerates away, uphill towards McLean's. And it's still Irons, Chambers, Swan. Those 3 are making the running. Stefan Martins is dropping back, and Ray Swan in 3rd position is now right on the boot lid, right on the spoiler of Chambers' car. Into Coppice. Down Starkey Straight. 4th gear, they won't be pulling the overdrive 5th gear. They've each got 103 horsepower under their right foot. They'll do about 105 miles an hour down the straight. Now down into the chicane. First, second and third go through absolutely together. There is Martins, there is Melander with Sal behind him and taking, Robles is taking 7th position from Tinker. So Robles, the Frenchman, and Tinker nearly off as the first 3 go into Redgate. Irons, Chambers and Swan. And look for the 4th place man now. It's a new 4th place man. Where is he? There he is. It's Stefan Melander. It's Mike Melander who's come up into 4th place ahead of Stefan Martins with Mark Sal, who did so badly in the bike race. And there's Robles sideswiping Tinker. This is getting to be a very hairy motor race as they go into the Craner curves and on to McLean's. Well over 300 horsepower in that batch. Irons, Chambers and Swan is gaining, he's challenging Chambers, he's catching Steve Chambers, who, don't forget, won the Pro-Am race, 10 points for that, there's 10 points for the winner of this. Chambers having a look as Irons goes into the right-hander of Coppice and over the curve. And Ray Swan is going to have a go. He's pulling up alongside Chambers, who is pulling up alongside the leader as they go under the bridge. It's Sal, Mark Sal is up into 4th place, but look at the lead, look at the battle for the lead, and Chambers is going to challenge, he's taking Irons, and he's off. He's going straight into the side of Irons' car, and he's off. and he's recovered. Unbelievable. His car's swinging like a pendulum, but Steve Chambers goes down into third position now. Now, this is absolutely critical, because in the lead is Irons. There he is, with number 1, Ray Swan, almost attached to his boot lid. Down into third position has gone Steve Chambers. And if Steve Chambers drops any lower than third, he will lose the win on aggregate to Kenny Irons, who is currently leading this MG Maestro race from Ray Swan. But now, let's look again at the incident. Chambers pulls out to the right at the chicane. He goes inside Irons, his tyres smoke, he cuts right across Irons, and wham, he really sideswipes him. Chambers goes off to the right, Irons stays in the centre of the course, and Steve Chambers makes a masterly recovery. And now, a lap later, it is still Kenny Irons in the lead. It is Ray Swan in second place. Look for the third place man. Is it Steve Chambers? Yes, and he must stay there, I remind you, to win overall on aggregate. And getting very close indeed to him are Mark Sal and Mick Melander, then Martins, Robles, Tinker and Buckmaster. And here is the third man. Here is Chambers, and look at his bonnet. The bonnet has been sprung by the impact. I hope it doesn't fly up and obscure his vision. But anyway, he goes into Redgate, and there is Kenny Irons really pressing on. 103 horsepower. Now, these are talking cars. The instrument panel can talk to you, and I should think it must be chattering with fear in these two cars as Irons and Swan, absolutely together, come down into the right-hander again. Round Coppice, this is the battle for the lead, and Kenny Irons must keep that lead position if he's to do well on aggregate. And it doesn't look as though he's going to, because surely there's going to be a change of leader as the Pro-Am British champion Ray Swan comes up alongside him, and he's taken the lead of the chicane. Lovely bit of driving. And as Ray Swan and Ken Irons sprint away on the last lap into the chicane, comes the battle for third. It's Chambers and Sal absolutely together. Now, Steve Chambers must keep the third position if he is to win the Austin Rover 2-4 challenge on aggregate. There he goes. That is the man in the vital third position, which he must hold for the rest of this, the last lap. Steve Chambers then won a beautiful race on the Yamaha. He was well up until he went off and hit Kenny Irons in the chicane. But now, as he goes into the old hairpin, there he is, Steve Chambers, the youngest driver in the race, the tool fitter from Lincoln, the man who holds 4 British lap records in motorcycle races. But now, down to the chicane. On the very last lap, the leader, and in the background, Kenny Irons has got his hazard flashes going, I see. And into the chicane for the last time, Ray Swan, he has got to win this race. Irons is going to be second. There goes Ray Swan across the line. He is indeed the winner. Where is Kenny Irons? There he is, but who is going to be third? Is it Steve Chambers, number 4? Indeed it is. So, Ray Swan wins the MG Maestro race, and there he is. But victory overall for 20-year-old Steve Chambers with his win in the Yamaha race, and he's very determined third in the MG Maestro.
I'm really pleased, really pleased.
Are you going to get the money, Steve, yourself?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
And what are you going to do with it?
It'll go towards me racing bike, because I need the money to race, like, at the moment.
Well, in its first ever road race, the MG Maestro has shown that it can give it and take it. And Steve Chambers takes a lot of money, £750 of it, from Austin Rover director Mark Snowden after a very closely fought 2-4 challenge.
Those cars will probably now be for sale. One careful lady owner. Actually, I'm just joking if British Legend are about to write to me.
We go back to 1979.